And we are live with another episode of the Keeg Talks. The Keeg Talks, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The second Spider-Verse movie just came out a day or two ago. We're here. It's Saturday, June 3rd, 2023. And we're here to talk about Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, Spider-Verse 2, all that good stuff. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera. And if you can see who our guests are, then that means you're watching us live on twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Or if you can't see the guests, then that's because you're listening to the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from, you know. We try to give you enough options. You know, you like, comment, subscribe wherever you're at. Let us know you're out there. Let us know what you're listening to, because we want to know. Let me introduce my guests. We got two awesome guests, both of which who have been on this show before, but it has been a couple months. So thank you for coming back. Couple months. We got Ben Torres, aka BT Artist 98. It's a couple, Ben. Ben, how's it going?
It's good. I haven't been on the show since Wakanda Forever. And then he also hasn't sent me his Switch friend code, so I haven't been able to play Smash Bros with him. And I want to just, I talked to his roommate and I was like, "Hey, who's better, you or him?" And he's like, "Oh, Dimithri." I'm like, "Okay, I want to verse Dimithri. I want to run ones with him." And he hasn't even sent me the friend code.
That's how I stay on top. That's how I stay on top. Is not just playing random matches with randos on the internet, you know.
There's picture evidence of us together.
There is. I'm glad that you're on this, you know, because after the Wakanda Forever, I was like, you know, that Ben guy, Wakanda don't want him around anymore.
Oh, no.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. I was sitting watching all my other mutuals be on here. I was like, not me though.
I have to keep it rotating, you know, gotta keep it fresh. But
I do this too every time, by the way.
You do a lot of guilt tripping, you know.
Yes.
Ben, thank you. Moving on. Someone who I actually want on this episode, and I'm surprised I got her. We got Tracie Megumi. Tracie, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on again.
Yeah. Last time I had you on was the Pokemon episode, and you were a water gym leader. And
yes.
we constructed a gym for you, and it was super cool. And
it was.
How's the water conservation stuff going? Are you still doing things?
Yeah, it's good. My full-time job, I work for a nonprofit that's like very ocean and ocean animal focused. So that's all going good too.
Yeah. Did I say water? Is water conservation the same as ocean conservation?
Not quite. Water is more like all types of water, like rivers and drinking water and all that stuff included.
Okay. So you're saving the whales.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's what you're doing.
And us, it's water. It's water. So us too. Clean water, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Right?
So I was thinking, I just had this idea because I just did the Little Mermaid thing, the podcast episode earlier. Has there been a lot of underwater movies? Like a lot lately.
It's 3 in a row from Disney.
Which is
Wakanda, Avatar, Little Mermaid. Boom, boom.
Not to mention, what was the Pixar movie that came out during the pandemic?
Luca. I was just thinking of that one too.
There's Luca.
Oh, Luca.
There's
and then
Aquaman.
Shang-Chi had a water dragon. And then there was the other one from Disney. What was that one?
I don't count.
It had Kelly Marie Tran. Oh, well. Then also the one with Kelly Marie Tran and Aquafina. I cannot forget the name of that one.
Raya the Last Dragon.
There was it was also water based because she was a water dragon.
Underwater because they
had that whole sequence under the water.
There's a
lot of water.
Called the new movie called I Was a Teenage Kraken or something. There's that, right? I'm trying to remember. There's been a lot of underwater movies.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
A lot.
Surprisingly, though, this is not an underwater movie. This is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. I'm actually surprised there's no underwater Spider-Man that I saw. So I don't know. Interesting.
Oh my God, we don't have any.
Yeah, I feel I feel like Spider-Man's powers wouldn't really work with water.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't think it would work with a cat either, but I guess there was a cat.
That's
spider
true.
cat too,
That's
right?
true.
Like, I don't know. Would it be seaweed that came out of the wrists? I don't know.
Seaweed, you're swinging off coral and stuff.
Kind of. I mean, yeah. What if, you know?
That'd be fun.
I don't know if I said this before, but if you're watching us live, you're watching us on Twitch and YouTube at twitch.tv/The Keeg Show, youtube.com/The Keeg Show, or you're listening to us on our podcast, wherever we get podcasts from. Oh, yeah, I did say that. Anyway, it all blurs together. How did you guys feel about the first Spider-Verse movie? Let's talk about that, because this is the sequel. There's Into the Spider-Verse. This one's Across the Spider-Verse. The next one's Beyond the Spider-Verse. How'd you guys feel about the first Spider-Verse movie? Oscar award-winning Spider-Verse.
A pretty much perfect movie. Pretty much a perfect movie.
Like, the first one?
Yeah. I remember I was at my old job and someone was like, "Oh, it's overrated." I'm like, "Okay, what's overrated about it?" I'm like, "Well, what about it is not as good as everyone says it is?" And they couldn't think. I'm like, "Well, that doesn't mean it's overrated. That just means you don't like it.
Yeah.
It's different." Yeah, no, it's perfect.
There are good movies that don't resonate with us, but we are grown ass adults that know that like not everything's gonna resonate with us. That doesn't make it a bad movie, right? Tracie, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I completely agree. It's like a top tier comic book superhero movie for me.
Yeah. It is top tier animated movie, top tier Spider-Man movie, top tier superhero movie just in general. It's like Sony's golden egg. The gift that keeps on giving, but they spent so much time on it, and I'm glad they didn't rush it. It's been 5 years. I didn't realize that.
Long years. And then in the movie it opens and they're like, "Oh, it's only been like a year and a half for Miles." I'm like, "Only a year and a half?" I was like, "He doesn't know this pandemic yet, or does he?"
I don't like. It's so weird because I feel like we've been talking about Spider-Verse as it like year after year after year. We've been talking about Spider-Verse to the point where I'm like, it's been coming out once a year every single year now, right? Like, because we talk, you know what I mean? Like, we talk about it so much. I feel like general discourse.
It's a rich ass movie. Like, there's so much to talk about in terms of like being a comic book fan, or being someone who likes film, or someone who likes animation, or someone who likes music, or someone who likes drawing and painting, and that. And even if you like are a hip hopper, there's elements of hip hop in the film that they gave to Miles in the first movie. Yeah. So the movie is just rich culturally. It's rich. Like, like you can tell they sat there and just marinated on every idea. Everything in the movie is intentional. And same with this one. It's so good.
Tracie, if you could give the first Spider-Verse out of 10, what would you grade it?
Probably 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just, even the differences between this movie and that movie, it's not about quality per se. It's just how they wanted to tell the story. I would take 10 out of 10 for Into the Spider-Verse. Ben, what do you got?
11 out of 10.
Okay.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I have no complaint.
Yeah. Here then is the follow-up question. When it comes to Across the Spider-Verse, right? This one. I got to remember my prepositions because which one's into, across, and beyond. Because I kept in my head being like Enter the Spider-Verse, but that's never been a title, right? Like, I've been calling it Enter the Spider-Verse in my head. That's not a real title.
The third one was originally Across the Spider-Verse Part 2.
Right.
So they changed the name to Beyond.
Yeah.
Which,
what does that mean? I don't know. What would you grade this one and why? We'll start off with it and we'll go into depth as this podcast goes on, but out of 10, what do you grade it? What are your quick blurbs? Why?
10. The movie ended and I sat there emotions, and I was like, I wanted to like cry, but I was next to my two good friends, and I didn't want them to catch me lacking. So I was like, this was so damn good. Oh my god! I was like, they did it again. They did it again. They did it again. So yeah, Ted, that was a damn experience. I wish I could watch this movie for the first time again, like
Yeah.
3 more times. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yeah. Tracie.
I would probably say 10 as well, because like I kind of went into it to watch Across Spider-Verse without expectations, really, because the first one is just so good and they set the bar so high. And like I didn't know what to expect with the second one, but like every category, the animation, the art, the music, everything was just so good.
Yeah. I would give it 10 out of 10. My only concern, and it's not even a criticism, is that like, yeah, it ends kind of abruptly, right? Because it was supposed to be a part 1, part 2. But I'm glad that it wasn't its own, that they didn't take part 1 and part 2 and smush it into one, because we wouldn't get those character moments like that come with like the letting it breathe, right? There was a lot of really good character moments that, again, superhero movies don't always have, because they're just afraid to let it breathe, because they need to be nice and compact stories. But it ended abruptly, and then I guess my only criticism is that like, I mean, I love the music. I've been listening to the soundtrack. Nothing hits like Sunflower. Like Sunflower in the first one, I was listening to like over and over on repeat as I would be driving. It was like, and nothing in the soundtrack hits like Sunflower. That's my big criticism.
That's not even a criticism of the movie itself, just
no,
like
it
the
isn't.
soundtrack.
Yeah. And the soundtrack's not bad. The soundtrack's great. I was listening to it yesterday, and I was just like getting my errands done, and like, yeah, it's great. But also Sunflower. I want Sunflower is so good. I don't, and this is wild when people hear me say this. Sunflower is so good. The Kids Bop version, also a banger. If you listen to the Kids Bop version, it's also good. It's so weird.
It's just a good song.
You use your adult 3 minutes to listen to the Kids Bop version.
Listen to the Kids Bop version, then come back to me. Listen to the Kids Bop version.
I'm good.
Don't get.
I'm good.
The reason why is because I was looking on Apple Music for Sunflower, and then it popped up a couple different ones, and I was like, "There's a Kids Bop version." I clicked it. It's the same thing, except instead of "Ride Me Like a Cruise," they say something else, like whatever. That's the only change, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Sunflower.
It's good. I used to be a teacher for like an art teacher for small children, and we'd have Kids Bop radio on all the time. So I concur that that version is good too.
Have you heard it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe I should knock it till I try it. Maybe I should knock it.
Because again, a lot of Kids Bop does suck, because it just is. But that one, yeah. This is just gonna be a Kids Bop podcast episode. We're just gonna talk shit on Kids Bop, the whole time. No. So I mean, this one's just bigger. This movie.
Oh God.
Is so huge in scope. I mean, the first one is more personal. And this is personal in a larger scope. It's a little bit different.
Yes.
I don't know how.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't know where to start.
Where to go from here? Well, so like the movie starts off. I'm trying to remember. I mean, the whole intro is also like 15 minutes before you get the title of the movie. How does it start?
It starts with Gwen. We get her backstory in full.
Oh, damn! You're right.
So yeah, it starts with Gwen, and we like. Damn, that was good too. Damn, I'm thinking about like, because like we get all her like, we essentially get her like character motivations for this movie, and like what would make it so like you're like, why is Gwen acting like this, instead of showing us in flashback they're just like, here, have it. This is just the intro to the movie, and you're like, damn, because that little moment where like at the end where Captain Stacy starts reading her Miranda rights, I'm like, whoa, whoa, and then Jess, Drew, and Miguel are like, nah, we gotta go. We can deal with this later. And then Jess Drew's like, just bring her along, bro. Stop tripping. He's just like, okay, I guess. Don't disappoint me, kid. That was just nuts. And then the art style for her universe too, the way it changes colors depending on like the mood.
And it's watercolors.
Oh, so good. Oh my god.
Tracie, you got stuff to add about Tracie Gwen Stacy? Yes, it rhymes.
It does.
Gwen Tracy. Do you have any thoughts about the Gwen stuff?
Like I just kind of agree. Like I think we're kind of all on the same page about how we feel about this movie. But I agree.
We just end the
with,
podcast
like...
here. All right, that's it.
Thanks for coming.
But to add like something different, I think the intro scene with Gwen definitely set the tone for this movie, because that was like the first movie was much more playful and lighthearted, I feel like, and then Gwen's scene was like pretty heavy and like serious straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of carried through the whole movie, even though there were still like good, catchy little comedic moments.
Yeah. There was a lot of funny moments.
Mm-hmm.
The directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, were they also did the Lego movies. They also
yes, they did.
Weirdly enough, Chris Lord and Phil Miller, they were the original directors of the Solo movie, and then Disney didn't like what they were doing, and then they brought in Ron Howard to clean it up and do reshoots. Because like it was gonna be a Lord and Miller movie, Solo was.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got essentially booted after Disney didn't like the product they were making.
Also, you put their names: Phil Lord, Chris Miller.
Oh, that's why I was like,
yeah, I heard it. I was like, let me consult Google on this one because that sounds wrong and right.
They were also, I'm looking at it. They first came on the scene, with. Directing Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Then they directed 21 Jump Street. Then they wrote and executive produced Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Then they did Lego Movie, then 22 Jump Street. Then they're uncredited on Solo because they got booted and reshot. So like they executive produced Solo. They were given that, but they were the original directors. But they're not directors of Spider-Verse. They're writer and producers. Joaquim Dos Santos.
Mm-hmm.
3 directors on Across the Spider-Verse. Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson. But it's written by Lord and Miller and Dave Callahan, and then it's produced by Lord and Miller and some other people. So
apparently this is also the longest animated film of all time.
What, was it that long?
It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It doesn't feel that long. They're so good at pacing that like they let, you know what I'm saying? Like they let the moments that need to be like happen, and they let the moments that need to breathe. And I feel like this, with all the names attached, it could seem like a Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But instead it feels like you're here because you're excellent at this. You're here because you're excellent at this. You're here because you're excellent at this kind of thing.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
They've assembled the Avengers.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Gwen scenes are directed differently by a different director. Like one of the directors takes the Gwen scenes.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's just a different vibe and it's a different like art style and everything. I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. There we meet a lot of spider people in this movie.
Yes.
What?
I love Spider-Man India.
Who was your favorite? Who was your favorite?
I love obviously Spider-Man. Well, okay, Spider-Man India. Just because he was just, I loved his vibe. He was so silly. It's like, oh, the romantic tension. I loved him so bad. And then Hobie Brown, they made Spider-Punk so cool. Oh my
Too cool
god!
though.
Like he's already cool. They made him cooler. Like, making him Daniel Kaluuya. How, come on, come on, come on.
I was trying to figure out who was voicing him, and I was like, it's either it's either John Boyega or Daniel Kaluuya, because of the accent, and I was like, it's one of those two. It was Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah. Tracie.
For me, Hobie was easily my favorite Spider person because he's just so cool. Like the art style that they did for him was like my absolute favorite thing in the movie because it had like 70s like UK punk-ish vibes, and there's like parts to him that look like a collage and stuff, and that looked like just so cool. And then his character too is just like so cool, and like he just like kind of bounced when things started to get like into hot water.
Yeah. When he bounced, I was like, I get why he's bouncing, but that sucks. He is being non-interventionalist, you know what I mean? But then it turns out he's not, because he made the band for Gwen. Like it's not that he was just like, hey, it's not my circus, not my ponies, monkeys, whatever. He was like, he was still contributing.
Yeah.
Because all those chips that he was stealing in the beginning, like throughout, right? He kept stealing little pieces.
It was all part, like, it's, again, this is one of those movies where you need to like rewatch it to figure out all the stuff, because he wasn't like bouncing, like you said, to be non-confrontational. He was bouncing because he was just getting the things he needed from the powers that be and taking them to help those who needed help. Genius.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because
oh my goodness.
Was there any point in this movie where you thought Hobie was going to side with Miguel?
Oh no, not at all.
Like he was talking the talk but not walking the walk. I wasn't sure how he was. Like, what's gonna happen?
Jill was tripping. Miguel was big mad. He was tripping. Oh my god. He was essentially like, hey, yeah, I know you love your dad and all, but like, you gotta let him die. He said to Miles, like, Miles was gonna be okay with that.
I mean, there are some far-reaching consequences that come out of this movie or in the previous movie, that I do want to talk about in a little bit. But any of you guys fans of punk? I don't know much about punk. Tracie?
I kind of had like a punk-ish phase when I was younger, like punk, pop punk, emo. That was like totally my jam when I was a teenager. And I listened to like The Clash mostly in terms of like punk genre. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I'm not super knowledgeable.
Yeah, neither am I. My friend Matt, who I've had on the show before, Matt Morey, is a big punk head, and so I saw it with him, and he was really happy about it. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, again, something that doesn't resonate with me, but like, everybody can like find joy out of this movie because there's, we see Miles in a little bit of a different place, but kind of the same place, right? He's still a kid. He's still swinging around. Yeah. He's more confident, though. He's confident with his powers. He fights the Spot. Let's talk about the Spot.
Oh my god, I loved him.
At first I was like, he's not that bad of a villain, right? In that first like bodega scene. And he doesn't want to cause harm. He's just like trying to steal the money. It is what it is. But then he gets more and more obsessed.
It was a little Riddler-ish to me. Not the Batman Riddler, like actual Riddler. All shade.
I thought you were talking about Batman and Batman Forever Riddler, because it kind of had vibes.
No, more like comic Riddler, or like I guess Arkham Riddler. But he was very like in terms of like his motivations were, I'm trying to best you because I feel like we should be equals in a sense. Oh, you don't think I'm serious? You don't take me seriously? I'll make you take me seriously. And I like that. And then I also liked how he through the fact what they did with essentially, I haven't seen Fast X yet. I'm sorry, Dimitri. But from what I
You're good.
understand, Jason Momoa is a retroactive villain, as in like he's been here the whole time kind of thing. Same with this, right? So he's been here the whole time. He's the one who gets hit with the bagel, which I think is hilarious. And then he becomes like a scary version of the Spot, who the Spot's a like an F tier villain that people don't really care about.
Yeah.
Like it was some joke on Twitter I saw where people like us three Spot fans are eating, and I'm like, I'm happy for y'all.
The Spot
like,
is great visually, but
visually,
he hasn't been given much depth until now.
This movie.
Yeah. Tracie, are you a big Spider-Man fan?
Yes, but I have pretty limited knowledge when it comes to like comics.
Yeah. Which is fair. I mean, however anyone's digesting these characters, like as long as you're digesting the characters, that's great.
If you like the character and you are contributing to this character continuing to be able to get made and produced, you're a fan.
Yeah.
Don't let these other
Tracie's
people
a
tell
huge
you like
gatekeeper. Tracie's like, no, Spider-Man's for me and only me.
Speaking of gatekeeper, I was talking to Fantastic Frankie earlier.
Oh,
Miguel O'Hara is the biggest gatekeeper because think, right? You're not even supposed to. What I felt like watching the movie, he was like an antagonistic force that was a commentary on like real life, right? So, and I also found it interesting how he's the first Latino Spider-Man, and he's saying all these things to Miles, right? He's saying to the next Latino Spider-Man, who is now this elevated character, right? So he's saying all these things to Miles that I've seen online. The conversations leading up to this movie, when I was 13 and Miles came out, the conversations I saw happening where grown men were saying, this boy can't be Spider-Man because he's X, Y, and Z, right? So Miguel was essentially, I feel like, a commentary on that, while also being, a pre-established Spider-Man character from before Miles' introduction in 2011. So I found it funny how like he's like, that spider wasn't even supposed to bite you. Miguel's a vampire. He has a synthetic spider power. We saw him shooting. I mean, this is so interesting that he is a contradiction to everything he is pushing on Miles, right? So like
right.
he's like, I don't want you to do this because of the multiversal consequences, because I've multiversal consequences. But now that you know there's a way to fix it, why can't you let the boy have his dad? You asking him to let his dad die, right? So
Right.
I like
mean,
Miguel.
those are what's called in the movie. They're called canon events, right? And I mean, we'll go into it in a little bit, but I do have to say about the commentary. I watched it not realizing the commentary. I didn't. I saw it from a story aspect. I didn't expect the meta commentary until afterwards. I read about people reading into it, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. You're totally right. There is that meta commentary, because, and that kind of just opened my mind to being like, oh yeah. By the way, just a side note, I don't know if you guys know, but like in fandom, Miguel O'Hara is considered more of a Latino Spider-Man than like Miles. Like the bad fans will give him the Latino, but the guy, he's Miguel O'Hara. He is mixed just as much as Miles is.
And when I was talking to Fantastic Frankie, she pointed out when Miles speaks Spanish to him, he brushes him off. He's just like, yeah, whatever. Like he doesn't really respond to him. I'm like, that's interesting. That's an interesting piece of commentary.
I forgot about that.
This movie is loaded and packed.
I forgot about that. Also, Miles is very happy to speak Spanish to another Spanish-speaking Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, he was so happy. He was so happy. He thought he had a community. Oh, my poor sweet summer child. Oh, my sweet summer child.
Sometimes it be one on your own.
Yeah, now kinfolk are kinfolk.
Tracie, you said your favorite was Spider-Punk?
Mm-hmm.
Was there one that didn't hit?
One that kind of sticks out in my mind, she didn't really come out in this movie, but Into the Spider-Verse would be Penny Parker.
Yeah.
But I do love and appreciate her, but I kind of feel like she kind of fits like this like stereotype of schoolgirl, like anime Japanese girl type of thing. And like I just wish that we had a little bit different representation also when it comes to like Asian characters, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Were there any other Asian Spider people? So there's Penny, there's Spider-Man India, which again, socially different stereotypes that are given in media to both of them, you know. So, but like, so it's a little bit different. But I don't know if there's anyone, or is there anyone else?
We did not see our emissary from hell, Japanese Spider-Man. We did not see him.
Oh yeah, I was hoping that
We're
he
talking
would
about the
come
one
out.
with
I was hoping he'd pop up.
Yeah,
the one with the little leopard on. Yeah,
yeah.
He's tight. He's tight.
It's only a matter of time till they bring.
Yeah, he'll probably be the next one. I also peeped. Andrew, Toby appear. Tom didn't. He's mentioned he didn't. He's probably gonna pop up in the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I noticed. I peeped that.
There's so much to this movie. It's so hard to like in my mind right now, trying to keep this conversation going. I'm like, oh, but what about this? What about that? Oh, the cameos in the Spider Society prison, the different villains. They were like, they brought in like the old, like it's an MS-DOS game, I think, like the Spider-Man villain in that, and like then they're like a basic rhino. There's just a rhino, just an animal, and then they bring out Donald Glover.
Yes!
As Prowler.
Yes! I was so happy, dude. Oh my goodness. That was a full fucking circle moment for me, because I was also a fan of Community, and I was like a child, obviously, when that was going down. But like when Miles was created, he was inspired by the visual of Donald Glover getting up in Spider-Man pajamas in an episode of Community. It's this episode. It like starts and it's like a little.
It's like a season premiere. It's like season 3 premiere.
Yeah, it's like a fun. It's like fun camera work, all that. And when when Miles first appears outside of any other media as like a full character, he appears in Ultimate Spider-Man, voiced by Donald Glover. And then we obviously have him in the MCU as Aaron Davis, not as Prowler. I'm hoping the version that we saw in the cage was MCU Aaron
I need
Davis.
it to be.
I would love it has
that.
to be.
I would love that. Oh my god, that was so good. And he looks Miles. I'm like, this is full circle. Like, oh, that's so good. Oh my goodness, I was so happy. Wild. And he gets two scenes. I was so happy.
He gets 2 scenes. What are the 2 scenes?
It's the one he's introduced, and he gets another shot later on where it's like in a different part.
Shout out to Jedi Mike 7's on YouTube, saying salute to panel. Been watching your content for a minute now. Love to collaborate. Love to hear you guys' perspective. Thank you so much, Jedi Mike. Yeah, for anyone out there who's watching us on twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show, let us know you're out there. You know, if you're watching silently, comment. So we just, you know, more than happy to read your you know, questions out, as long as it pertains to this. We got a cameo from that. There are so many cameos. I mean, what were the big ones? Tracie, do you?
The first one that like really, like, I don't remember the order of these happening, but like one that really stuck out to me was when Spot was like looking into all his different spots, and then he pops into the Venom shop.
Yeah.
With the shop owner. Like the whole theater was like, oh, like everybody like gasped at the same time. That was like so unexpected.
Quick gauging interest. You guys like the Venom movies or no?
As a movie, they're not the best, but I love Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock.
Okay, that's fair.
I didn't see the second one.
Okay.
because I detested the first one, and now it's just.
I think the second one is better, but they're so flawed. But I think that like they're kind of fun to watch once. Like, okay. But what's funny to me about Venom is that producer Avi Arad, who has been producing Spider-Man movies since the get-go, since the jump, he loves Venom. He is an old man that loves Venom. And he keeps pushing for Venom to be in the movies. Which, like, Sam Raimi didn't want Venom in Spider-Man 3. He wanted just Sandman and then, I guess, Harry Osborn, Goblin. But it was really a Sandman-focused movie. And then Avi Arad, being producer, he was like, you got to put in Venom. That's why it's so disjointed. Like, you could take Venom out of it and you don't lose much from Spider-Man 3.
No, literally.
You know? And he keeps pushing it. And then, obviously, Venom got his own movie. And he got a second movie. And that's like Avi Arad trying to really make Venom happen. And then Venom appears in the post-credits for No Way Home, right? And like, okay.
Oh, when Kevin Feige's face when asked about that post-credit scene, he's always like,
because it's their
tell,
partnership. They have to.
Literally, you can tell he's like he hates those movies because it's like it's conflicting with my artistic vision. Where it's like, yeah, I understand. As an artist, I understand it. But at the same time, it is so funny because he's like Spider-Man's on loan essentially.
Yeah.
It's especially like your neighbor being like, "Oh, can I borrow some sugar? Yeah, here's the sugar," and then he's like, you can have it back when I'm done with the sugar, okay?" But I like you bringing up Venom's little movie history. I find it so funny that he's trying so hard to make Venom happen because it's like Venom's just cool. Like he's just like a cool design, a cool visual, cool action figures, I'm sorry, T-shirts, merch. Like he's just cool. So it's like stop trying to make him. Your shirt is Black Suit Spider-Man. Who does Black Suit Spider-Man create? Venom. Like Venom is just cool, man. I don't. So why don't force Venom down with us? We will take him easy.
Right, you know? But he has to be linked to Spider-Man. Like it's such a core part of his character.
Yeah.
Which we didn't see. Did we see symbiote Spider-Man in the Spider Society?
Nowhere.
I'm looking. Well, I'm looking at the wallpaper that I created for this episode. So again, if you're watching the live stream, you can see a lot of the visuals that I've created. There looks like there's a symbiote Spider-Man in this corner, above Ben Reilly. And so maybe, but like we didn't see any powers being used.
True. I feel like in like the part where they were explaining like all the core parts of like Spider-Man's life, like Miguel was explaining all that stuff. I like there was like I almost said Uncle Ben dying and like all the 6 things. I think one of them was a symbiote thing. But other than that, I didn't really see anything.
Yeah.
Also, I think the Spider-Man you made or the wallpaper you're using, I think that's
fan made?
What's his name? I can't think of his name. It's the evil 6-armed Spider-Man. What I cannot think of its name.
The superior Spider-Man?
No, it's like the 6-armed Spider-Man, but he's evil. I can't think. He's a Marvel Legends.
Oh, he's like Man Spider or whatever, like
something like that.
Okay. So, I forget what we were.
Doppelganger. His name is just Doppelganger. That's what I think that is.
I don't know. I don't know who Doppelganger is. Okay. Sorry, Tracie. What were we talking about?
Symbiotes and if they came out in Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah. So I mean, maybe that's but with canon events. Let's talk about canon events. And by the way, somebody had a theory on TikTok that it's gonna open up a can of worms in the conversation, so I'm gonna save it for a little bit. But canon events, and this is what Miguel believes. People are already arguing whether it's true or not. I don't think it's true. I think, again, if you take the meta commentary into account, it's stating that like Spider-Man has to follow a paint by numbers sort of thing without being his own character. But Miles in the comics is different. So Miles first was from another universe. He was from the Ultimate Universe, where Ultimate Spider-Man died. Peter Parker died Miles became Spider-Man. There was never an overlap. Then later, there's a crossover event where 616 Peter and Ultimate Miles meet in the miniseries Spider-Men. Then, after Secret Wars, they get merged into the same universe, so they've always kind of been together, but Miles still has an idea of like what the previous universe was like. And then, like, Peter has never died in that universe, or whatever, right? Like, Peter's not dead in that universe. But Miles hasn't lost anyone in the comics. If
In Ultimate Comics, his original Ultimate Comics are on Rio's dead. And then, if I'm not mistaken,
Aaron dies, I think, in Ultimate.
Aaron does die, yeah.
Yeah.
That's his
but
Uncle
currently in the comics, Miles does not have a loved one who died.
Currently, yeah. Rio's alive.
Peter's alive. Aaron's alive.
Peter's alive. He has a little sister. Like,
he has a
currently,
clone brother.
Yeah. I mean, currently, Miles will be talking to Peter, and Peter will be like, yeah, it's really rough for me. I don't really have anyone to talk to. Miles like, I just talk to my parents, man.
That's the biggest thing. Like, Miles and Kamala Khan both, their parents know who they are, right? Does Kamala in the comics parents know? I forget, actually.
You would have to ask Ash.
Yeah.
Ash. She would know. She knows all.
By the way, how cool is it that we're all creators and we know the specific people that like are the curators for like individual characters? I think it's super fun.
Oh yeah, the Flash. Who do I ask for that? Go hit up Avery. X-Men. There's like 40 of them. So
I mean, I consider that's my bread and butter too.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I feel like you're pretty I feel like you're pretty well versed. I feel like you're pretty like evenly.
Yeah. Yeah, across the Dimithri verse. I can't figure out whether her identity is secret or not in the comics. Anyway, the point being is, like, Miles talking to his parents, having his parents alive. Miles has always been a different character. But then in this movie, they're explaining exactly how different. How did you guys feel about the retcon that in his universe, Peter has come and gone? Like, that spider was already used in that universe. Peter H. Parker, I don't know, whatever. The Chris Pine Peter dies.
Oh.
The Chris Pine Peter.
There's 1610 for some reason.
Which is also different. That's a separate. This is a different multiverse, by the way. This is a different multiverse than the comics multiverse. They're not linked. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, it's the I would call it the cinematic and TV multiverse, since that's where they're going for. That's what they're going for.
Yeah. So this universe, 1610, does not. It already had his Spider-Man. Miles is not the true Spider-Man of this universe because his spider came from Universe 42. And thus he was never supposed to be. And they bring in that retcon. How do you guys feel about that retcon?
I found that interesting, and I liked the way the story played out with it, because we learn that, and then he uses the machine, and oh my god!
Did you guys see that coming, by the way? When it popped up as Universe 42, I was like, oh, I know, they're sending him to the wrong universe.
They're sending him to the wrong universe, but I didn't know how they were going to go with that, and then having all the little things like, oh, Uncle Aaron's alive, Jefferson is dead, Miles is Prowler.
There's never been a Spider-Man in that universe.
There's never been a Spider-Man. I was like, this is nuts. But I was like, I caught the little thing because on 1610 it was raining and Gwen's outside. On 42 it was not raining, right? So I caught that and I was like, oh, we're in the wrong universe. And then Rio said a few things. He was like, it's me, you, and Dad. And she was like, Miles, I gotta take care of me and you. And I was like, oh no. But I was confused when Prowler clocked Miles, and I was like, how the hell? If Aaron's over here, and Prowler just went, what was that? And then Miles came up with the braids. I was like, Oh, I was like, oh my god. And the movie ended. I was like, did I just watch Keeg again? Again?
I
They're
need to
two for
see it.
two.
I need to see this movie again. I'm going crazy. Like,
Mhm.
did we all see it one time?
Yeah, I've
Yeah, I
only
saw
seen
it.
it once.
Yeah, I saw it like opening, like 2 o'clock. like I was like, I need to see this shit. Oh
Tracie,
man.
thoughts about the twist?
I did not see that coming at all.
No?
But like it like towards the end, there was already so much going on with like him being chased by Miguel and everyone, and then the spot, and it was like just so many things like building up and up that like it just worked, and it like was such like a climactic ending.
I there I when it got closer to the end of the movie and I was like, okay, time has to be running out. I didn't check my watch, but I was like, time has to be running out. I know they're not going to wrap things up. So where are they going to end? And like for 10 whole scenes up until the end of the movie, I kept being like, they're going to end it here. Nope.
Yeah,
They're gonna
same.
end it
I
here.
was thinking
Nope.
that too.
Where are they going to end it? At what point? That was a badass ending though.
That was such. Oh my god, his finger on the chain. I'm like, Miles, he's him, bro. He's the guy. That is the guy, Miles. But I already love this is my guy. That's my OG. This movie, I was like, we got a fire ass comic book run, multiple fire ass comic book runs, multiple fire ass video games. Well, we're about to get another one.
Yeah.
Is the lead. Now two essentially perfect movies. Man, y'all need to show up with that. This is Spider-Man. He's my brother. Man, that's Spider-Man. That is Spider-Man, bro. Oh
Right.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. That train scene.
What was the train?
Where they're on like the train and it's going up and up and up and up and up. And then Miguel is like working him. And then Miles is like thinking on his feet. He's just like, okay. He's like, oh, this is electrified. Zap. I like absorb, zap you. I'm out of here. I'm gonna freaking camouflage. Oh my god. oh. Oh. Sorry.
No, yeah. You got something to add on to Ben's rant, Tracie? Ben's just over here, just like, okay.
No, I'm just like
this
letting
movie has been living with me.
Let the dog get his barks out, and then, you know.
Oh my goodness.
There's so many different things. I'm trying to look up who is playing who. In like Spider Bite. You know Spider Bite?
Amanda Stenberg.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Who I'm excited for them being in the Acolyte for Star Wars.
That was Amandla?
That was Amandla.
I thought it was the girl from, because it looks like the girl from The Bear. You know what I'm talking about?
I never seen that.
I
thought I was in Chicago though. I was like, oh my god, Italian beef. I was like, oh no, the prices of Italian beef are gonna go up because of this show. No. It didn't, thank God. Woo! I was safe.
I thought it was Ayo Edebiri.
Where do I know that name?
From The Bear. She was also in Abbott Elementary for an episode.
That's why I know. She played Janine's sister, didn't she?
Yeah. So I thought, because it looked, the character design looked like her, so I was like, oh, that'd be cool. But no, okay, it's fine. Amandla's cool. I love Amandla. Where were we going with this? There were so many scenes in this movie, like I forget, but I kind of want to forget so I can see it. If I know I'm going to see it a second time, I'm going to be like, okay, I don't want to focus on every single thing. Then again, I have a podcast to produce, but like it's fresher in my mind when I, when I see it again. Spider-Man India, they spend a lot of time in Mumbattan, right? And what's kind of cool about Spider-Man India, not only is he funny, he's attractive, he has a love interest, he wasn't playing comic sidekick relief to somebody else's story. Even though, like, that's the thing about Spider-Verse. Sure, Miles is the focus. He's the main character. But we understand that, like, unlike in other stories that we've seen throughout history, everybody has main character energy.
Mm-hmm.
But this story is about Miles. Like in real life, we all have our own lives. And then when you get egotistical and narcissistic and self-centered, you're like, I'm the only person in this story of Earth. I'm the main character. But in Spider-Verse, we can see that, like, everybody is the main character in their own story. Right? So Spider-Man India is, like, one of them. And I thought that was, like, super cool because, like, he has his story. In this story, he's a side character. But he is capable of love. He is capable of being a hero. He has his own Aunt May. I forget what they call her. But, like, I mean, you know, he's there to... And his story will continue once they leave Moonbatten. I thought that was super cool.
Also, his redesign for this movie needs to come into the comics. That suit is so much better. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Because the original design is just like Spider-Man with like some like ethnic pants.
Yes. And shoes.
And shoes.
Spider-Man up top and then pants and like some kind like a cloth. Which they kept the cloth design at his waist, but they changed him up a little bit, or a lot of it. And he looked. That's something I want to talk about. Is like the fact that every character's design is like really indicative of who they are and who like. And there's some aspect if they're like a character of color, an aspect of their culture. So Miles does like graffiti, and graffiti as I don't think I said it on here, but graffiti is an element of hip hop. There are 4 elements of hip hop. Graffiti is one of them. So the fact that Miles does graffiti, he'll wear like J's over his clothes, and he'll like incorporate streetwear and graffiti into it. I'm like, that's really cool. And the fact that they added like cultural elements into Puppeteer's costume, I was like, that's so cool. And then Gwen like going from ballet to having the Chucks, which are Spider Punks, and then Spider Punk's just his whole aesthetic, like the punk aesthetic. The fact that, you know, it's important to me that he's a black punk character, because but I'm pretty sure somebody pointed out like his laces are different colors, and the colors mean something in like punk culture, and I can't remember what it is, but something's like it's something anti-cop and something anti-establishment or something like that. I'm like, that's cool. Those details are cool. That character design of this movie is
I mean, you could tell they spent 5 years on this movie. Like,
for sure.
And they got all the right people to work on it. I think that's also, you know, right. Like, is it Joaquim Dos Santos?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
It was 3 directors.
Yeah, but I think he's the main build one. Dude, do you know his background? Okay, so he's Portuguese American. He's directed Justice League Unlimited, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra.
Wait, that's why I know that name. Oh my god, it's connecting. Oh my goodness, he's him too.
Yeah.
Oh, Legend of Korra. Yeah, he's
and
him
Voltron.
Too. Oh my goodness, bro, we had a goat on here and I didn't even realize it. Oh my god, dude, yes, good for him. I'm so glad. Good for him. He made a great piece of work. Wow, he made art.
Then Kemp Powers
Soul
wrote episodes of Star Trek Discovery, One Night in Miami. He co-directed Soul, and he wrote Soul. That's crazy. That's why this
movie was rich. This movie was rich, like, and decadent, like a chocolate cake. Like, oh my god, oh my goodness, oh, it was so good.
I'm like doing deep dives on all these people. That's also like how you, I don't know, you figure out like, yeah, what else have they been working on? Who are their, like, who do they work with? Why are these movies so good? It's like a, you know.
they've just assembled a team that is like good as fuck. Like everyone's
So, simply put, yes.
rad.
Why are they
Simply
so
put.
good? They just have good people.
Bro, you got somebody who worked on Justice League Unlimited, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Legend of Korra on here. Of course, this shit was gonna be good.
With a full like movie size budget,
Oh my god.
you know.
Oh my god. Oh my
Uh
goodness. I'm sorry. I'm talking so much. Like,
let's talk
no.
about canon. Let's talk about canon events. So Miguel says that there across the multiverse, there are canon events, which are events that have to happen in one way or another. They have to happen to a spider person. Um, this is not something that's in the comics. The comics doesn't run on this thing, and whether this is true or not is up to debate. Now, we see in the movie that Spider-Man India, Captain Singh is supposed to die, and it does not, and then that causes like a couple more tears, but they say that they got it fixed, right? So then canon events don't have to happen, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They can fix it. Um, you guys have thoughts about the canon events? It tends to
I
be
want to hear.
the
I want to hear Tracy's thoughts because I've been talking a lot. I've been talking too much.
Well, my thoughts, like I feel like the title of the next movie kind of ties into this. Like I feel like the word beyond was chosen for a reason. Like it's going beyond what Spider-Man is supposed to be with the canon events, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
The idea that it's a
So
meta commentary throws me for a loop. Like I need to rewatch it with that meta commentary.
yeah, same. Because I didn't really catch on to that either when I first watched it.
Yeah. But sorry, what were you saying, Tracy?
I don't even
Oh, you were saying Beyond the Spider-Verse. Because I also think that Beyond the Spider-Verse also could mean Universe 42. Because Universe 42 has never had a Spider-Man. So it's Beyond the Spider-Verse, right? Like, and we're probably going to see a lot of this dystopian society of what happens when a Spider-Man doesn't exist, what happens when Miles is bad, what happened, like, what are the... Miles throughout this movie is trying to feel like he matters, right? In a
hmm
world where he's the second Spider-Man, in a world where he can't tell his parents that he is Spider-Man, his parents want him to go do other things. He's trying to matter in his own way. And then Miguel says, "You matter, but you also don't matter." Like he's giving him mixed signals, right? You have to let the canon events happen because you matter, but also you were a mistake. You're not a real Spider-Man. Because these canon events didn't happen to you. One did.
Yeah.
The death of his uncle.
Yeah, Miguel was like very intimidating to me. Like he ripped on Miles so much, and I was just like, oh my goodness.
He's also a hypocrite, right? We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What are the sources of his powers? What did he lose? He lost his child, right? He lost his family.
I think it was his a sister for the Miguel he replaced.
That was his sister. I thought it was his daughter.
Was it the daughter?
Was that his daughter?
Yeah.
Like the kid?
I thought it was his daughter. I thought he said like he had found where he had a family, so I just assumed that that was his kid.
A universe where Miguel died, but his family was alive. And he
Mm-hmm.
took that spot of Miguel, right? But it caused problems, allowing the multiverse to break down, right? And that universe, like, so then he creates a Spider Society, and then they just
And
kind of
that's
go
the
from
thing.
there.
It's like, so what universe do you come from, big bro? Like, what's going on there? Why haven't you gone back? Like, what's going on with that? Is
Yeah,
this like, are you in
it's
your
this
original
universe. I think the Spider Society
Okay, he
takes place
is.
on his original universe, because
Okay.
the new universe, the adopted universe, got destroyed.
Okay, good. Okay, I can connect that one. I'm just thinking, just tripping, bro. Like, get off Miles's back. Like, let him. because I also peeped that there was no other Miles in the Spider Society. We saw PS5 Spider-Man from the Spider-Man 2, and we saw a version of his PS4 costume.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it would be the comic version of him, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. But they had him in his actual character model, and they gave Yuri Lowenthal like a line, which
Yeah.
I'm like, this is interesting because Miles also is the other lead in that game, and he's not here.
Here's the
So
thing.
we only see one other Miles, which is Prowler Miles.
Here's the thing, though. All these spider people in the Spider Society, we assume they are from that universe. They don't have to be from that literal universe, just a universe that resembles it, right? Like the PS4 Spider-Man could be from a universe in which, like, he looks exactly like the video game, but Miles doesn't exist. He doesn't actually have to be from the video game universe. Because if we play Spider-Man 2 that comes out in however many months, are they going to reference that character being drawn into a multiversal battle and then coming back? If not, that wasn't him.
Because, like, at this point, this will be Big Bro's third. Because he's got 2 in the comics and then he's got the 1 here.
In what?
PS4 Spider-Man is in both Spider-Verse events.
Oh yeah. Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. But is it the same?
And this,
I don't know.
So I want to hear him have some lines, some dialogue, like, "Oh, secret society" or something. That would be funny. That would be silly. That'd be silly, goofy mood.
Also, the fact is that, like, a lot of these spider people are just Peter Parker, but in a different suit. It's like, so there's like a whole universe spawns from just changing your outfit. Like, with the amount of changes that Tracie has when you like do all your cosplay and stuff, all those Tracies have different universes where they only wear what you wore that one time.
Across the Tracieverse.
Across the Tracieverse.
Patented. Boom.
Yeah.
Trademark.
Like, okay, well, I guess. So, I don't know. It's like, where do they differ? I don't buy the whole Miguel thing. I don't buy what Miguel is saying. I'm not saying he's lying. I just think he has maybe this is the meta commentary. He has a narrow view on what it means to be Spider-Man. That's really what it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's the case. I feel like because of what he went through, he's subjecting all the other Spider people to that.
That's meta too, right? This didn't happen to me. It does not exist to other people. You know?
And I would like, it would be interesting if they bring in they bring in Gabriel O'Hara, which is the white suit Spider-Man 2099, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't like the 2099 comics, personally. I think Batman Beyond does the future of their given universe better than 2099 does.
I find that interesting. But, I mean, considering, like, especially because we're inching closer and closer, and they now designated it in an alternate universe rather than, like, the future.
Yeah.
You know? But you know what I'm talking about? For, like...
I think I've seen it, but, you know.
Yeah, no. I kind of actually love that design for him, but...
You have to hold it above your chest, like, in front of your chest, so it reads as you. But yeah. That's in the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, so I wonder, that's Gabriel O'Hara, his son. So I wonder if they'll introduce him to be like, oh, there is a universe where, like, you have a family. You know, you don't have to be alone.
Yeah.
You know? So I wonder if they're going to do that. But I also, I wonder how this conflict is going to resolve, because bro was tripping. Like, we saw one scene where he's about to bite, a paper vulture. He's about to bite him. I was like, whoa. He's like, all right. All right, Kylo Ren. I know what I have to do. I don't have the strength to do it. Like, come on, brother. What's going on? Like, oh my God. So, I also want to know who Jess Drew's husband is.
Who?
Jess Drew's husband.
Oh.
Because she's based specifically off that run where Jessica Drew is pregnant, but she was pregnant through, I believe, in vitro. or whatever it is, where it's like, you get the donut or whatever. So
Yeah.
she says she has a husband, so I wonder who her husband is. I
Hmm.
wonder
In
if
a
he's alive.
in a perfect world, I would love Luke Cage Spider-Man.
Sweet Christmas.
Like I mean, if they're gonna be lazy, and I don't think that these people, like the crew, is lazy, they would just be, it's Peter Parker, like, is her husband, like, in her universe. Easy, right?
They would
But
never do that. That's so ugly. Oh my goodness. I've never wanted Jessica Drew and Peter to be together ever. I don't
also,
like
it's
that.
Jessica Drew, but she looks like Misty Knight. Maybe it's the hair, but in my head, it combines the two.
Come on, Dimithri. Not every black woman with a fro is Misty Knight.
It's the red. It's the red, because Misty Knight has a full red outfit.
I think her husband is dead. I think her husband's dead. That's what I think.
That
Because
she let her husband die because it was a canon event.
I think so. Because she, alludes to the fact she had her canon event with the policeman, and she says my husband is corny, blah blah blah, XYZ. But that was months ago, and now she's, further along in her pregnancy. We don't know what's up with her and like how she became a part of this. We don't know her background, so I'm wondering if she has a tragic story, and she believed the truths Miguel believes.
Right.
So, and I wonder why exactly, what compelled her to take Gwen and train her.
Yeah. Also, why the motorcycle? I know it looks cool, but functionally speaking, she always has her motorcycle on her, right?
Yeah, because it's cool.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
it's cool,
well,
but like,
I kind of thought it was because like she was pregnant and maybe wasn't as like mobile.
that's
I
true.
don't know.
Is she on the Sky Train as it's going up? Is she on there?
I think so. I don't
remember. So I know she was in the street before Miles gets to the train, because he like gets her off track. I think he like do her to a bus.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Miguel was on it. Miguel was like, wow. I was like, whoa, bro, it's not that serious. He's 15. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's just a kid. Miguel, we talked that line, even though it was in the trailer, it still hurt when Peter was like, Miguel, we talked about this. And he's like, you talked about it? I was like, damn, Peter. These white folks that got your back, bro. You gotta get out of here, man. Let's go.
It was sad. It was a betrayal, right? Like, but also, like, I don't care who you are. If you tell me my family has to die, I'm not letting that happen.
No, for real. He was just like, yeah, by the way, your dad's gonna die. Swink, and you're in this cage. Like,
Ooh, the tension that goes on in that scene, where it just keeps rising, and then Hobie does a hand thing, right? Like Hobie shows it, like, kind of.
He reminded him, he's like,
yeah.
And I think Hobie planned. He definitely was a planning, because he breaks the shield, and so Miles has just absorbed the energy, and then he's like make sure to use the palm of your hands, and Miles is like the palm.
Wait,
and
is
then,
that what happens? When does that happen?
Remember, Hobie comes through. Miles is absorbing the shield and trying to like thin it out so they can come through, and then Hobie comes through and breaks it, and then
Oh yeah.
Because Miles was using was trying to absorb the energy to
At
push it out
Alchemax
for the
in
venom.
Mumbattan, yeah.
Hobie says to him, he's like, hey, use the palm of your hands, and then that's why during that scene he's like,
so has Hobie dealt with somebody who has that same power set?
I wonder.
Is it because you're telling me that Miles has been using his fingers to shock, but if he uses the whole hand, it's stronger?
Yeah, he probably, because he's just been using the venom strike like from the hands. So, but he's also talking about this he's advancing his venom strike. So he was absorbing it with his fingertips and then outputting it with his fingertips. Right. So I'm guessing he forgot that he used Kingpin. He was like, hey, hand.
Right. So has Hobie dealt with There's questions. I have questions.
So man. Oh.
Has Hobie been watching Miles from afar?
I wonder. It's like, it's no brother, man. I'll watch out for my little bro. Oh my goodness. Dude. Hobie.
Hobie was cool. So the canon events we know are uncle or loved one dying, right? And then it has to be a captain from the police. That doesn't happen all the time though, right? Because Tobey Maguire.
No. Toby and Tom. Neither so far.
Death of a captain. Is the captain Tony? Tony Stark the captain of the Avengers?
Oh shit! Wait, you might.
Is
be
that
like? Oh yeah.
The
you know what I mean?
Avengers are essentially like cops in the MCU, like even more so.
They're cops, yeah. And then May dies, right? So those are his two.
That's his two. But
they also showed that like Venom is a canon event or can be a canon event because they never really like. Not every Spider-Man has a Venom, right?
Andrew did.
Right.
Most animated Spider-Man do.
It's because of Avi Arad. He keeps pushing Venom. Venom is cool, but like, come on.
I'm literally looking at my Spider-Verse shelf right now, and I have Venom like flexing on Ben Reilly.
Well, we also had Ben Reilly being kind of this angsty '90s kind of character, voiced by Andy Samberg.
So fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's so good.
He gets taken out real easy though, right? Gwen takes him out.
Yeah. he gets, and here's the thing. Okay, Ben Reilly's a clone. Are clones like official Spider people? They're clones.
Well, in the comics, there was the question: who's the clone, Peter or Ben? Like, this could be Ben from the universe where he was the original, because that was the big thing about the Clone Saga in the day, was that the Peter we know and love might have been a clone of this whole time. Like, they tried to really mess with the canon on that back in the 90s. It was Ben Reilly might not be the clone, and we only know if one of them dies and turns to dust. And then it turns out that when Ben dies and turns to dust, that yes, Peter was.
I really liked his art style. It was really cool. I like the black cell shading.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah. There's a lot that happens in the movie. It's tough to cover everything, but I do want to but as we wrap up, because there's just so much, and I know that people on TikTok are going to be talking about, oh, I just threw down my pen. Because somebody on TikTok brought up a theory. And I hate it, and I know there's no way this was planned. There's no way this is planned. I will not give Sony the credit for this. The big plot holes that have been happening in the Sony movies. People traveling from multiverse to multiverse. All these problems. And we were meant to think that in No Way Home, Peter was the one who started this multiversal break. But now we're seeing that Miles is the one to have created this multiversal break with the Collider. Vulture going over to Morbius, Tom Hardy going over to the MCU. The rules that Doctor Strange said was that if they know Peter Parker was Spider-Man, they're coming over. But these people didn't. There were major plot holes in No Way Home. The theory that somebody on TikTok was saying is that this solves that. All these multiversal breaks are happening not because of Tom Holland Peter Parker. It is Spider-Man, but it's Miles Morales Spider-Man. It's not Tom Holland Peter Parker Spider-Man.
I think that they wrote around that.
Yes. It was not the plan the whole time.
They wrote that rule with that in mind, because also the timeline they used looked, I was a little bit upset because it looked like the MCU timeline. I was like, ugh.
For what?
when they had
Like
the timeline branch, it you saw what I was saying. It looked like the one from Loki.
Oh, the tree looking thing.
Yeah, the
The
light.
specific way it looked though, the white beam of light with like I was like this is the MCU. But then I ended up being okay with it because this movie is better than.
So does that solve it? Is this? Are we buying that?
I'll buy it for the Spider-Man stuff,
as opposed to
the MCU stuff. It's both a lack of planning on both like franchises parts, but whereas Spider-Verse had the time to animate and voice act and write around some of these things because Spider-Verse came out in 2018. They got to work and started production and had some delays so they could tighten some things up and because of COVID. But they got to see reactions to things in Loki. They got to see reactions to things in Multiverse of Madness, which was a year ago. So the movie's probably close to done, but we don't know what was ADR, what was whatever, because it's animation. So you're less likely to catch ADR in animation. So I'm guessing there was someone was in charge of making sure that their multiversal rules made more sense than the stuff that was going on in the MCU, because we have two different sets of multiversal rules in the MCU.
Yeah, MCU's messed up the multiversal stuff, but also No Way Home had the plot holes, and then this now just makes sense.
I think I'll give them this. For No Way Home, they definitely have internal, agreements on stuff because that is so Sony specific. And the reason why we have like another main MCU character in the Spider-Man movies at all is because it's like a part of their agreement. Like, oh, that's why we have Tony Stark in the first one, Nick Fury in the second one, and then Doctor Strange in the third one. It's a part of their agreement. But all the I can't remember if someone said it, but like most of these story decisions with Spider-Man, it's like obviously they have to work with Feige in them, but a lot of them is very like Sony specific stuff. So like
you view the Tom Holland movies as primarily Sony with Marvel influences? I do see the other way around.
It's obviously a team effort, but the way they treat the franchise, the way the franchise is treated, like Spider-Man stuff is never revealed on Disney Plus stuff, on Disney stuff. Spider-Man's always revealed by
I know
Sony.
that, but that's distribution.
So
that's not production.
That's distribution, but the legality, the way I'm seeing it is because it's Sony's property, they have the plans, That's why other MCU trilogies, we have 3-4 year gaps between movies. Spider-Man, it was 2-2-2. It was 2017, 2019, 2021.
Yeah.
Or no, 2018, 2021. So, and that was because of COVID. So Sony is very much in charge of that stuff. Because remember, during the Disney Plus reveal for all the new MCU stuff, Spider-Man was absent. Why is Spider-Man absent? That's Sony's in charge of when that stuff comes out. They're in charge of what goes on in a lot of the story making decisions.
Yeah.
If Feige wants to do this, Sony can go, no.
I don't.
They can.
I won't give Sony the credit on pre-planning what has been going on, because Sony.
I would have to, because Miss Pascal and Avi Arad, since their fingers in every Spider-Man and Spider-Man related project, they obviously have a vision, and they have a lot of this stuff connecting, and like they time releases for stuff pretty well. So like Spider-Man PS5, Spider-Man 2 for PS5 is coming out the same year as Across the Spider-Verse. That was not unintentional. That was definitely on purpose. Like, oh, this got delayed. Let's delay this so we can have like, boom, a year of Spider-Man, right? Yeah. So a lot of the stuff they do is intentional, but you can tell what aspects, who has more control. Like the animation stuff is like the Spider-Verse team of people that are pretty much, they're like, well, this was a runaway success, home video sales in 2018 when we were seeing the death of that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So they definitely let the Spider-Verse people run away and do XYZ, but obviously there's things that are like, you have to put this, and this in here.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and which is like with most things, but
I don't want to I don't want to like Sony, but Sony has been hitting out of the park with Spider-Verse movies. So
Yeah.
they're doing their best. Obviously, like Morbius was obviously Morbius was
and
an
like
issue, but
all their things that are slated to come out, like they
that I
announced
don't
a
know.
live action Miles Morales movie and a live action, or maybe not a live action Jessica Drew movie, maybe a solo spin-off. I'm not quite sure.
I think the Spider Woman thing's that
It's
Spider-Verse. It
Gwen.
might be the Spider-Verse all female team movie that they've been working on. Might be that one.
I mean that's cool, but remember the Bad Bunny El Muerto like solo movie, and then they were gonna do a Hypno Hustler movie with Donald Glover, or was that a red herring to throw us off Donald Glover being on the set for this movie?
Maybe.
That
It
might
could
be.
very well be.
You know what I mean? Like they were like, hey,
They
Donald
be
Glover,
lying.
Hypno Hustler.
They straight be lying. Andrew Garfield, liar of the year.
I'm starting to question everything now.
Yeah, they're definitely. I'll give them this. Some stuff is planned for sure, and some stuff they're writing around. Obviously, not everything is planned well,
Mhm.
but they definitely like for the Spider-Verse franchise, this franchise in particular, the plans are solid. That's why it took so long because they had to like navigate X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z. This is coming out, so we can't do this. This is coming out. This is going to conflict with this. This is the narrative we're trying to tell. This is how we tie this into this. So
Yeah.
they're probably really planning heavily for this. The other movies I can't say are gonna be
Right.
Aaron Taylor Johnson Craven.
Craven and Madam Web. That movie's been filming. The theory is that Madam Web has the same story as Terminator. Somebody goes back in time to kill Peter's mom. Supposedly, it has to do with Peter's mom being pregnant with Peter. And
good Lord.
That's the theory. That's the theory. So, and that there is a Spider-Woman team that goes back in time to stop that. Something. I don't know.
They may have come, because I know like summer when DC announced that like slate, and they had like all the Harley Quinn stuff, and it was supposed to like culminate in like Harley or Birds of Prey versus Gotham City Sirens, and then instead of being able to do that, they just kind of like amalgamated it into Birds of Prey. I wonder if they took the idea for like the Silver Sable Black Cat movie and like, the Spider-Verse Woman team, and then they were just like, what if we just, and it's Madam Web. So that might be what's going on here.
Maybe.
I would like a Jessica Drew thing. Jessica Drew's fun.
Which Jessica Drew? This one?
Because if we take her out, if we make her like live action, then she can't be in the MCU.
I doubt, and again, maybe this is my distrust of Sony. I doubt they're going to do a black female solo movie.
I know you might be right on that.
You know,
you might be right. You might be right on that one, unfortunately.
But there's also going to be a lot of backlash if they make a white Jessica Drew movie. After this movie, the only Jessica Drew that we've ever seen in any of these movies is this one right here. This one and only. We've never seen the comic version. So
if they keep Issa Rae, which they could, I'd be okay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I would love. I mean, I love.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Where do we see Beyond the Spider-Verse as we close up this episode? Where do we see this going? Are we gonna spend a lot of time on Earth 42, Universe 42, whatever they call it? Are we, we have Gwen putting the team back together, right? We got Peter B. Parker plus Mayday. We have Spider-Bite on their team. We have Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham, who don't voice in this movie. They don't speak. We have Spider-Punk. Who else? It's the team. It's the original team plus Spider-Bite Spider-Punk,
and Spider-Man India, I think, right?
and
I
Spider-Man
think so
India.
too.
And
Yeah.
Spider-Man India. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Which
Spider-Man
what
India
a
was done
good.
so well. Oh
So
man.
good.
Yeah,
I
that was
love
really
it.
cool.
I love it. He's just like, because I'm naturally buff, and then I had fabulous hair. I was like,
Like,
that's
you don't
right.
use
That's right, top
product?
tier.
Like, you don't use, and he was like,
Nope.
yeah,
What did he say? Like a little bit of oil and
a
something.
little
Yeah, a
bit of
little
coconut
coconut oil.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved him. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, the writers of this movie, Oscar. Give this movie an Oscar right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Right now. It's what's gonna be the best picture besides this? Or like
Well,
animated.
So
Animated
people
best.
have brought up somebody brought up what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem could be. Super Mario Brothers movie, which I don't think should. Not against this. Elemental, because it's the Pixar like movie. These are just nominations that could happen.
Oh, I could see Mario winning. I could see Mario winning because it'll be like, well, this will be like eliminations. One of their few. They haven't won in a while, so give them Mario.
No.
I can see that happening.
Mario, I liked Mario, but I didn't think it was next level. I wish it was, but it wasn't. You know, this one definitely deserves it. And if this one deserves it, I'm going to absolutely need Beyond the Spider-Verse to win a third. Like, if you can't go 2 out of 3.
1, 2, 3.
Like make it happen, you know? Or the Academy's like, we're not going to give it to this one because we know Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to win it. So we can't give it 3 times in a row. Like Lord of the Rings didn't win Best Picture 3 times. Just won the one, right?
But that's Best Picture. This is animated. They'd be like animated, something sweet for the kids. Boom. like give us like, come on.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio won last year. Puss in Boots
that one
was
was
really good.
so good.
I didn't see the Del Toro's one.
Oh, you have to watch it. It's really good.
I saw Pinocchio, or I saw Puss in Boots, and that was amazing.
I haven't seen Puss in Boots.
You got it.
I haven't seen it either.
You haven't seen Puss in Boots? You gotta see Puss in Boots.
Has everyone been going like, oh my god, you haven't seen it? It's so good, and I'm just like,
especially with what we do, like all of us. Come on, we're. I expected more from you two.
Listen, my creator program hasn't hit because I haven't made enough money yet. So just calm down, just wait.
Okay. So sorry, what did you guys want to see in Beyond the Spider-Verse? What are we hoping to see?
I feel like, well, there's a lot to wrap up because there's so much built up in this one. But I definitely want to see Miles and like Gwen and their team make amends and get back together. And then I don't know, I guess that would mean they kind of face off with Miguel's side.
Ooh.
Yeah. I want to see. Have you seen that Disney princess spider person? Have you seen that in the comics?
I've heard about it.
What's her name?
I can't think of her name. I want to see Webweaver, the Slayful Spider-Man.
Spinstress is the Disney princess.
That's a good name.
But so Spinstress sings songs in the comic, but like I go past that because I'm like, I don't know the tune of the song. Why am I like reading these lyrics? But then they got a Broadway actress to sing the songs like in her first appearance, and it's like actually a song.
Oh. Now that is cute. I love that. Honestly, they should add her. I would like to see the new Spider UK pop up. Or both.
Which one? The girl or the guy?
The girl.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the black women, always. Always and forever. And then I would like to see Webweaver. Webweaver would be very fun.
Which one's Webweaver?
Webweaver's the new gay one.
Who's he's the stylist,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
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 He's cool. I like him. That would be they could do so much stuff with him. Like that would be really cool.
I would like a gay Spider-Man. I also, is it too much if Spider-Punk was gay? Because part of me, I don't know how I feel about, everybody's talking about like, we're Hobie, I was about to say Kobe, Hobie and Gwen Stacy hooking up? Or like...
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about that either. Like, I feel like because she lost her homeworld, so I could also see that he was like kind of like a big brother to her and like helping her get back on her feet.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's a nice way. Of like a nice platonic way of looking at things. Also, I mean, does she just like a certain type? Like, does she have a preference? Like,
Maybe.
you know? And that,
Gwen, Snow Bunny, Stacy.
you know, I don't know. Or, you know, I don't know. Because but like Spider-Punk was so cool that like you can't get mad at him. You're like, okay.
That's true. I would like Miles to express that he did feel betrayed and he would not like to pursue a romantic relationship with her. And at the end of the second movie, we get a little scene where it's like, oh, this is your new scene with Tiana. It's Tiana Toombs. That would be fucking cool.
Oh, are you
'Cause
not
I
a
like
fan of
Tiana.
Miles and Gwen?
No.
In this, I am.
In this, it's okay, but I'm still that little comment. Oh, she looks like she could vote. Reminded me that Gwen is like 1920 when she's introduced, and they slowly age her down,
In
but still be
the
an adult.
comics.
Yeah, it reminded me that she is that much older than him
In the comics,
Hmm.
but not in this. In this, she is young enough to attend that academy.
Yes, I know, but I've never been.
She's also not Peter's Gwen, you know?
She's not, which she's not in the comics either, but oh, that was so weird. Like, he was just like, where in the comics? But I do find it interesting how he doesn't have that moment with her in the first movie. How he doesn't go, where's Stacy?
I don't think
Peter
that
B.
Peter has a Gwen.
That could be. That might be the case because they might be going off of like Spider-Man 1 logic because Mary Jane said something about high school. In the comics, they don't meet until college. So yeah, I'm more of a fan of Tiana Toombs. I also met Saladin Ahmed, so you know
I met him too.
have that. Oh wait, were you with me when I met him, or was
No.
that my friend Alex?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's Chicago.
It was
I
in
like
Chicago.
Tiana Toombs, but I also I do okay. I like Miles and Gwen in this specific thing.
Yeah.
They are in love. Let them be in love. What I'm afraid of, and I'm afraid of this. They're gonna do a Finn and Ray thing, where they're like, obviously they're hinting at this romance, but the audiences aren't ready for an interracial romance in 2023. Like Star Wars backtracked like crazy.
Stop.
And I'm still very upset about the whole Finn and Ray.
Listen, Finn got a new love interest every movie. He had like 5 by the end. He had Jenna, we had Ray, we had Rose, we had Poe. We got none of those relationships at all. And then Disney was even extra rude and was like, actually, Poe is straight and gave us Zord. Let me shut up.
Poe, first thing, you're saying Poe is straight. Poe can be bi, but I also don't.
You know what Disney meant by giving him Zori Bliss. You know exactly. They didn't give him that option.
But that's bi erasure. Don't do that.
It is. That's what Disney was doing.
Okay. I also think that everybody's able to have their own thing. I don't think Finn and Poe are friends. To me, Finn and Ray was the romance that they were clearly moving towards in Force Awakens, you know?
Yes, I agree. And I'm still hurt. You know, I was like, okay, if you're going to give Ray Kylo, at least give Finn Poe. And then they didn't do neither.
I don't. Ray and Kylo, I hate. I hate it. Anyway,
I hate that so bad.
I hate it so much.
Let's get back. Wrong franchise. Wrong franchise.
So, sorry. As we end this, do you guys, do we, wait, is there anything else in beyond the Spider-Verse that we want to see?
I want Miles to save his daddy. I don't want his dad.
He's going to. He has to. I can't see him die. I don't want.
Yeah. ACAB besides Jefferson.
Okay, here's the thing about ACAB, by the way. Here's the thing about ACAB, by the way. On the side of the police car in Miles's universe, it says courtesy, professionalism, respect. That's not our universe's cops.
I know. But still, ACAB besides Jefferson, besides Joe West from the Flash TV show, and Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow's, I love Carl. I love Reginald Vell Johnson so much. If he's out there listening, like, I want to meet him because, like, he's one of my peeps that I want to meet. Like, I want to meet him. No, but who's to say the cops in 1610 are the same as in our universe? I don't know. We haven't shown that, so
I hope not.
I hope not. By the way, Jefferson goes as Morales.
I liked that. And then he even said something in Spanish to Rio.
They're so cute.
I love them so bad. I love them.
Why is it because I'm getting older that, like, suddenly, like, dad and mom characters are attractive? Or are they just creating attractive dad and mom characters?
They're way hotter now.
I think so too.
Now.
Yeah, because I keep imagining, like, when I was a kid watching Rugrats, the parents are just weird looking.
Right?
Yeah, they are.
The parents are weird looking Rugrats, but, like.
And that's the thing. I think I was always tuned in because as a kid, everyone was like, "Oh, Violet Parr, Incredibles, Violet." I'm like, Helen though,
Helen Parr.
The parent, like Bob and Helen, that's a good looking couple. What I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? So, like, I think it's part. I think it might be a little bit of both. We're older, so we're like they're closer to my age, especially closer to your age, Dimithri. But I'm like Rio and Jefferson. That's a beautiful couple, you know.
Yeah.
So I was looking at Miles like that's my cousin. Miles is my cousin, you know. That's my little cousin Miles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you guys so much for coming on this episode and talking with me and us about Spider-Verse. Shout out to Jedi Mike 7 that was on YouTube. Shout out to anybody out there who is watching it or listening. Let us know. Let us know if you're watching it or listening wherever. Podcasts, live streams, so on and so forth. Before we get going, though, I need to see this movie again. I need to.
Oh, like 5 more times.
My goal is I need to. I'm gonna show my mom the first one, get her to watch it, and then take her to see it in the second one in theaters. I've been doing that a lot lately. We watched Little Mermaid. We like to go out to movies and stuff. So,
that's
but
cool.
I have to show her stuff. Like, I have to get her caught up. Like, we watched No Way Home. I had to get her caught up with, like, the other Spider-Man movies to watch No Way Home. My mom's a real big Andrew Garfield fan for Spider-Man. Like, that's her favorite Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield. And so, anyway, the point being is I need to watch it again. Ben, where can we find you online? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Everywhere. BTArtist98. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm all over. Maybe too much all over. But, you know, I'm here. Anything coming up? No. I have nothing really going on. So, you know, just catch me on TikTok. I'll be talking about stuff. The videos have gotten longer. I'm trying to get the creator program money, like, support.
Yeah, I get it.
Repost some Copy Lico. Want some money, man.
So we all need it. I get it.
That's just me.
Yeah.
That was it.
Tracie, where can we find you online? What do you got coming up?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and now YouTube also at Tracie Megumi. Tracie spelled with an IE. And I do mostly like closet cosplay, geek fashion type of stuff. So I'm hoping to do like a collective video with across the Spider-Verse inspired outfits. Ooh. So hopefully I can have that up in the next week or two.
Awesome. Can you make a pun for Gwen Tracy?
I can try to.
Okay. Shout out to Derpy Entertainment who just popped in on YouTube saying, "Damn you, Sony. Damn you for making fans wait a whole year for continuation to this legendary cliffhanger." Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's next year, though. Can you imagine waiting another 5 years?
Oh, Jesus, I would cry.
No. I'm glad. Kind of like Infinity War and Endgame. There was enough time in between where we could, figure things out. But then,
Yeah.
2024 is when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I feel like I need time to digest everything.
Everything. Oh, I need to see it multiple times. There's going to be so many. I mean, no doubt there are things that people haven't talked about, like looking in the background, of individual.
I can't wait to see the screen when it comes on home video and shit.
Yeah.
And streaming. I can't wait for the screenshots of all the stuff we didn't catch.
Theories by T. Terrell's going to be on that breaking down Easter eggs. Come on,
Terrell,
team.
follow me, please.
I'm looking forward to more content from both of you because both of you are awesome. Not just great people, but you guys are great content creators. So keep up the good work with what you're doing, and I'm lucky to have you guys on this episode to talk about Spider-Verse.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being on here. For anyone out there who's watching us live, you're watching us on twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Twitch is our main one, but you can, do what you want to do on either or. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you can find us online. Instagram and TikTok are our two biggest social media platforms. You can find us at The Keeg Show on Instagram and TikTok. We're also on Facebook and Twitter and some other social media sites. You can find us there, but TikTok and Instagram are two biggest ones. We also got Patreon, patreon.com/The Keeg Show if you want to donate to The Keeg in whatever way you can. You can find a tier that works for you. This is The Keeg Talks. We do this every weekend. Today it was 2 episodes in one day. Our next one that we're going to be doing is Transformers Rise of the Beasts. That is next Sunday. But we also have the Secret Invasion after show that is coming up. We're going to do those Wednesday nights. And then we have Comic Talk. Secret Invasion comes out in a couple weeks.
What?
6 episode season. So, we got that. We got Comic Talk every Thursday where we talk about that week's releases of comics. So we got a lot of shows coming at you from the Keeg. So wherever you're at, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know you're out there. Write a review on the podcast. Podcast wherever you get your podcast from: Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. You can, however you want to digest our podcast, you can find our podcasts all there. I'm trying to catch back up, trying to make more content after a couple weeks off. So thank you out there for watching, after such a long break. And Ben and Tracie, thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to be here with me and talk about Across the Spider-Verse. Once again, thank you everybody out there for watching. I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been the Keeg Talks Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. TH